Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Million Dollar Media. I'm your host, Max Kellerhals, and with me today I have...
Nora Johnson.
And today we are going to be talking about...
The menu.
And I have Nora, especially here today, because you were the one who really pushed for this movie.
Yeah.
And I finally got a chance to watch it. And I'll let you say your thoughts first. I'll let you be in charge of this one.
The menu, not gonna lie.
Lie. Don't be honest.
Don't
Lie.
be honest. When I first heard about it, it was right after we got out of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and we saw that poster of the menu, and we immediately started making fun of it. We were like, the menu, what's it really gonna be about? A fancy chef? Because I didn't see anything really that much about it, so I didn't actually know what I was getting into when I first saw it. I hadn't seen any trailers. I'd only seen that one poster. So I was like, okay.
What a shock.
It was. And I took my parents to see it with me because they were like, I think they thought it was going to be some maybe existential piece about a chef.
I mean...
It was, just not in the way that they thought.
Yeah. This isn't Burnt or Chef, the movie.
I only started to realize what the menu would actually be like, I think, during the tour of the island, which is fairly early in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right off the bat, yeah.
It was still a really good setup.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to explain what the movie is?
The movie is, basically, we follow, I think it's 12 guests. They go to
12.
a really fancy restaurant that's on this secluded island in the middle of, I think, an ocean or a lake. I can't remember where they're launching off from. And this restaurant, you basically pay an arm and a leg to get into it. It's $1,200 per person.
Yeah.
And the food that they serve is that really rich, pretentious people food. It's
small portions.
Small portions. They all got fancy names.
Yeah.
They're all nicely plated.
How many courses?
It's
6-course dinner.
6, 7.
Overall, it's
yeah,
an experience.
They're bites. If you were eating at that restaurant you normally eat at a McDonald's, you could inhale an entire course and just.
Oh yeah, you really have. This is one of those meals where you have to take your time with each bite and appreciate each bite.
It's
so it sucks.
It sucks ass. The chef opens his thing. He's like, I don't want you to eat. I want you to think about what.
I want you to taste.
I want you to taste. And I was like,
feel.
dude, shut the fuck up. It's food.
I know.
I'm going to shit it out later. I don't need to think about it. But yeah, so it follows that group. They get a tour around the island. They're met by the woman who sort of takes care of them.
Not the sous chef.
No, she's admin basically. She runs relations between the customers and the chef. If someone has a complaint, she brings it to the chef. Then his response gets.
Yeah, she's second in command.
Yeah, basically, she's
played by Hong Chow.
Yeah.
Who I just want to say has been getting a lot of good work lately.
Yeah.
The first time I've seen her was in Watchmen. The Watchmen TV show, and she did a really good job in that show, being a really good, I'm just gonna say it, villain. I enjoy seeing her in other things, and I think she's just one of those actresses that is, I want to see more. And I know she's in The Whale, and I think she's not playing a villain, but she's
gonna be in it, and
she's in The Whale.
She looks like she's gonna be really good in that one.
Yeah, but sorry, I just wanted to.
Totally, it's totally.
Really give a shout out because.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
She's really good in this.
And she's actually what sets off sort of the unsettling feeling you get into going in the movie.
I beg to differ.
Really? Because I think that's what got me.
Unsettling in the horror aspect. Yes.
Yeah. That's what I was getting at. Not
what really made it unsettling for me is just the overall kind of ensemble, and because the main character of the movie is Margot, played by Anya Taylor-Joy, and you kind of get right off the bat that she really is the odd one out, even with her quote unquote boyfriend. And I have to put quotes on that. I'm not gonna say why, but it's really funny when you find out.
But yeah, we get that unsettling horror from Elsa, who takes them through a tour. She's like, here's what we grow, here's why we grow it, this is what we do. And it specifically, I think, caps off for me when she takes them to the smokehouse where they smoke their meats. And explains how they smoke their meats, why they take such delicate care with their meats.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the customers is like, okay, so what happens if you serve us this meat like a day after, like the day you're not supposed to like serve it? And she's like, well, and then she breaks down how the meat would kill them in such detailed and vivid fashion, and everyone's like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And then she just completely brushes it aside with a laugh, and then continues on the tour. And I think that's, at least for me, where I was like, okay, it's not gonna be about a movie, I think, where this woman, Margot, has to, like, not only worm her way through the pretentious...
It's not a social class climbing movie.
It's not just gonna be a social class
movie. This is not My Fair Lady.
Yeah, exactly. It's
like
gonna
that.
be something a bit more sinister.
Yeah, and I really like how the movie plays along with that fact, and it's a slow build.
It's a slow build,
forward.
but then once it, like...
I think the moment that was like, this is a horror movie, was when... Well, I don't want to spoil it, but... The one chef who is...
Yeah.
The sous chef. Was he the sous chef?
Yeah, he was the sous chef.
That moment was the moment where I was like, as soon as I saw them lay down the carpet...
I'm like, oh...
And I was like, I know where this is going.
I knew where it was going.
They play that up really well because, like, they set it up in such a way to be like, I feel like I know what's going to happen.
It's like one of those things where you watch it just happen in slow motion. You know what's going to happen, and you can't do jack shit to stop it.
I think we should talk about the chef.
Yeah.
Who's played by Ralph Fiennes. Chef Slowick.
Slowick.
I really like him in this movie because, Ralph Fiennes is like...
He's a great actor.
I love him in pretty much... I won't say everything, but most things that he's in...
Most of his stuff, he's really good.
He's, like, awesome. He's the best thing even in bad movies.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to see him play, like, a horror movie thing.
Like, that is straight up horror movie.
Yeah,
because, like, in Harry Potter, he's the bad guy, but he's, like...
He's like a boogeyman. He's meant to look creepy.
In this movie,
he looks like himself. He's just creepy.
He just, his mannerisms, the way he, like, conducts himself, it's... He, like, first comes across as maybe cold and, like...
Yeah, but then you kind of realize, like...
Something is just wrong.
Yeah.
Something is wrong with him.
But that's not totally out of character for a chef.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
you kind of expect it, especially from, like, a chef who runs such a high-class restaurant and obviously has a lot.
Pretty much everybody who's watching this knows of, like, chefs like Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, basically.
Maybe Bobby Flay or anything like that.
It was basically like Gordon Ramsay.
But not like a over-the-top.
It was like if Gordon Ramsay was more...
personal.
Exactly. And a little less prone to, like...
Well, he doesn't blow up. He breaks you down with words.
Yeah.
In such a way where it's just like, oof. Like, there's a scene where he is, like, just tormenting one particular person. I love how in control he is until Margot gets introduced in the story, Anya Taylor-Joy. And I just love their back and forth because she is, like, the audience character in so much ways, but, like, she's the one who's constantly saying, like, what is going on? Why is everybody just accepting this?
And because he didn't expect her from the beginning. And that's not because, like, it's not even, like...
A spoiler reason?
No, it's, like, in the very beginning of the movie, they get to the island, and it's revealed that Tyler...
Played by Nicholas Hoult.
Who's really good in this, too.
He's good, but, like, he's so good I hate him.
Exactly.
Like, that's the problem.
Yeah. And it's revealed that there was a switch-up in the guest list, and... Because of him, he brought someone different along. He was supposed to bring, I guess, his girlfriend. And because of how controlling Chef Slowick is, he basically designed his menu around each and every single one of the guests with them in mind, and I think most of the dishes were plays against the guests. So when Margot comes along, he's like, fuck.
Like, already it's ruined.
It's already ruined. So there is this outlier, because he's a perfectionist.
I also weirdly have to say, like, there are some moments where I'm like, fuck, I kind of get where he's coming from. But that makes me think, like, oh, well, that's kind of dark. But, like,
Well,
it's just one of those things where he's just kind of sick of like who he's been serving to, and he just is like, I'm done.
fuck all of you.
Fuck all of you. You're all coming down with me.
Exactly.
We're all going down to
and
this
you know
burning
what?
boat.
I could kind of relate to him because
Yeah, say it.
I'm in the service industry,
Mm-hmm.
and when I tell you that some of the lines he put down, I was like,
Yeah.
I relate so fucking hard.
Uh-huh.
We stand behind this man who's fucking every single one of his customers over. Like, there's this scene, and this is not actually with him, Chef Slowak. The scene where these two guys, they're finance bros. Where's
You know what they reminded me of? They reminded me of those Wall Street guys from Joker.
yeah,
The guys who are
you
just set up to die.
guy. Yeah,
And if they got their own movie, this is it.
yeah,
Excuse
basically. But they ask, one of the dishes is like breadless bread. It's really fucking
Yeah.
stupid, but it's so funny.
Well, they explain it in a very like logical
manner
way, and like it makes you think like, oh yeah, like
that's legit.
that makes sense. And then he's like, so in that case, you guys get no bread.
Because it goes into the whole history of bread.
And I find the really funny part, the other person that is like really pissed about that idea is Margot.
Yeah.
Because she's the one like, what the hell?
It's
like,
basic restaurant etiquette that you give them. Her complaint was like, there isn't enough food here to actually fill me.
uh-huh.
Their complaint was, we don't have bread to go with these these bread toppers, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're served. They're only served the toppers.
Mm-hmm.
So they pull Elsa aside and are like, hey, get us some bread. And
they're
she's
also like threatening her. Well, not threatening her, they're like coercing her with more money.
And she goes, no. And they're like, okay, we didn't want to play this card, but do you know who we are? And they basically threaten her with, we can get you fired or whatever. And she's like,
or worse.
no, you get no bread.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if I could get to that point in my life where I can confidently tell a customer straight up, no,
Yeah.
I would just die of happiness because, we always have to go with the customer is right. Even if they do ask for shit we don't fucking have.
I also just want to say, yeah, this movie's like really funny.
It really is. This
in
is
a dark way.
It's like a black comedy.
In that, like, the jokes are like kind of morbid.
Very morbid, but you still chuckle.
You still chuckle because you're just, it's the insanity of the situation that they're in, and just like seeing each and every single person just kind of like react to the situation. Seeing these people who've never had to like beg for anything or like have
Seeing
to
them
work for anything, really.
Beg and really try and work. I think that was really highlighted.
Fun. And all the like the cheap ways that they try to do it.
Yeah, I think that was highlighted with the chase scene.
Yeah.
Which was really fucking funny for me.
Uh-huh. I didn't write her name down, like, so I don't know the actress, but the actress who plays, like, the critic does have, like, one of my single favorite, like, giving up hope things where she, at first, like, she's, like, talking with, like, all the other women.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the one female
she's like,
chef.
I also wanted to say a thing about that, but yeah, they were like, oh, you can run your own restaurant. We can get you the funds to do that. We will prop you up. And she's like...
She says, like, a bunch of, like, really, like, $5 words and all that kind of stuff, like, really trying to prop her up. And then at that point, she's just like, fuck it.
This was, like, she's, like, met with an answer. She's like, okay, who wants more wine?
Yeah, she's like, fuck it, let's just drink.
Let's just drink, yeah. There are...
That just cracked me up. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
It was really funny how they broke down critics, too. Because, like, I mean, we're critics here. Like, we don't try to be pretentious.
We're not really pretentious, and
until we
get to it, and then I don't think our main goal is to shut anybody down.
No, yeah, it's all just talking about what we like and what we think could have done better. But like, yeah, there's nothing really negative in this movie because I even like the slow pace of it.
Yeah, and the slow pace is, I think, perfect.
Like, this is a nice slow burn.
Yeah.
Like, because you're just hanging on the edge of your seat the entire time.
It's really keeping.
There are some moments where I did just go like, whoa.
Whoa, yeah.
Like, this is not like a movie, like, where you go for the kills.
No, you don't. You go for, I think,
because the most graphic and violent kill it's just very sad because of what it is.
And it's very sudden.
It's sudden and sad, and you're not there to be like, oh, that was pretty cool practical effect.
It's like, oh, what a cool kill. Or,
no,
it's just there. It serves the story. And
in a situation like it, it's fast and you linger on what it is for
Yeah.
a long period of time. And also, like, there's another thing where, weirdly enough, a lot of movies in 2022 involve people getting their fingers cut off.
Yeah.
And there's a moment in this movie where someone gets their finger cut off, and I thought they were going to make a big deal about it, like a big slam on the table.
It's just there.
No, it's just like set on the table. Dude, it's
done very professionally.
Yeah, like
it's all professional. Like these kills are
like
all very professional.
It was really funny because I was like, I thought they were going to make a big deal about it, but like, no, it's just like cut.
And I will say, once I got into like the horror aspect of this movie, my initial thoughts were that the food that was being served
was
people.
I
was
hoping that wasn't going to be the case because the movie was so smart. I was like,
I don't want it to be predictable. I was like, it's probably going to be people, but as the movie went along, I'm like, okay, it's
like
not.
That's what I thought going into it. That's why I wasn't really like wanting to go see this because I thought, oh, all right, I think I know what the message is, but when you but the actual like
themes and messages.
Yeah, I don't even give any hint about how the movie ends, but it's so clever. And
it's just
I love just the reaction that every character has when it happens.
Yeah.
Because it's so good. It's so clever. I'm like...
yeah.
Because everything that they've set up, it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what happens at the end. I'm like, that's awesome. And it just made me really like our main character. I was like...
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's smart. And also, like... I don't want to spoil her occupation... But I find it really interesting, especially like in a horror setting, knowing what she is. I like that she's still a competent main character.
She is.
And that they don't portray her as
anything
a certain
less.
type of way and anything less. I'm like
she is the one in the entire movie who like really does keep her cool.
She keeps her cool. She's
until she doesn't, and then when she doesn't, it's totally fucking valid.
It's very valid.
It's so fucking valid.
If I were in a similar situation,
I would too.
I would be pissed. Like
I would be very pissed.
Because it's a dark thing. Like it's a dark comedic moment. Yeah, it's really hard to not spoil this, and I don't want to do any spoil. There's not going to be a spoiler review for this because the less you know going in, the better.
The better. Yeah, I think that's very important.
And I just automatically, I'm just going to say like, yeah, just go watch it. It's on HBO Max, and I think this is a really good at-home watch. I didn't see it in theaters, so you could speak to that.
I saw it in theaters. It was pretty good in theaters. I also saw it not in theaters, on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will say, seeing it at home, it made it a little bit more comfortable.
That is true. I would say
it's also like if you do get hungry watching this movie, you can just go get something to eat.
Yeah. You don't have to do anything.
But then again, nothing was really appetizing in this movie.
No.
Well, okay, one thing, but
one thing was very delicious in this movie, and I shit you not, I was like, after I had watched it for the second time, I was like,
I might go get that. Yeah.
Can I wrangle myself to go out and get it?
Yeah.
Yes, I can. I was motivated.
You did?
I was motivated and I had the money.
I watched this with my mom and dad because I was like, I got a friend who really wanted me to watch this and might as well, if you guys want to watch it too, let me know. And so we were watching it and like my dad, like the first half was just like, I was laughing. They weren't laughing at all.
Yeah, that's why I would ask people,
and
what would you label this, horror comedy or comedy horror? Because
probably
the proper title would be dark comedy.
It's a dark comedy, but it is definitely more comedy than it is horror.
Yeah.
Because there's not like any moments where you're suddenly surprised or jump scared.
It's no James Wan movie.
Yeah, but I like James Wan. But still, like, it's not like that.
All respect to James Wan.
Yeah, it's not your typical, like, slasher even. It's a really strange situation.
That just gets stranger, but it's, like, it's more tense,
if
anything.
Yeah, it's tense, yeah. It's really hard to, like, put this in a specific category, and that's what I really like about it, because it makes it super unique.
Yeah.
And, like, I could totally see some people not liking it because of just, like, the how dark the comedy is, but, like, for me, I enjoy, like, comedy that's just not afraid
to be dark.
To, like, poke fun at things. Because there is, like, one legit, like, super sad, but laugh out loud hilarious line when it comes to an assistant.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that made me laugh hard because, like, it was just like the brutal honesty of it
It was
cracked me up.
Yeah, and I like that brutal honesty. It just doesn't hold any of its punches. It goes for its message, and it peppers in the comedy, and it's well balanced too.
Mm-hmm.
It's very well balanced. The tension plays with the comedy.
I guess I will say this. I guess if I were to have any negatives, it would be, besides like our main, like the big names in the movie, all the other characters didn't leave that much of an impact on me, and really in the end, that's not the point.
Yeah.
And I get that, but you do kind of lose like interest in like caring about everyone else because they are such like cartoonish version. Not cartoonish, because I could totally see people being like this. Exaggerated.
Yeah.
I just wish I kind of cared. At least give enough of a reason to like be afraid for everybody in this situation, not just our main character. Because again, I don't think anyone should have to go through this, but it is nice to just kind of see just like people kind of like be told a lesson.
Yeah, even if that lesson is
deadly.
Deadly.
But I don't know. I'm not as morose. That's my only real negative. But it's such like a nitpicky like personal thing that I really can't say detracts from anything because I still really like the movie.
You can still really fucking enjoy this.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where like, what kind of person are you and how do you react to it? Not just how I reacted to it. I mean, you had your very interesting answer, but like, fuck them.
Fuck them. Yeah, I was all on board for it because this movie really does play into personal experiences.
Definitely.
And I think that plays into how people will take away this movie, like how positive or negative they will take away from this movie. Because I feel like if someone who hasn't worked in the service industry at all in their life goes in and sees this movie, they might not take away some of the jokes as well as I do.
Yeah. I mean, I never worked in the restaurant business, but I did work retail.
Yeah. Specifically restaurant. I do work in the restaurant business.
But there are certain moments where I was like, oh man, I wish I could do
that. Yeah. Oh, God.
I've had some Karens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I've got anything else to say.
I will say this. The soundtrack, I really fucking love the soundtrack. It didn't
really stick out to me, but that's okay. It just reminded me of like every other like really tense artistic horror movie genre, really like a lot of violin. So it was like, I mean, if that's your style, but like
for me it felt like going to like an orchestra concert, which I really appreciated.
I get that. It just didn't work for me. I mean, it didn't stick out to me.
Yeah, that's fair. I totally get that. I personally enjoyed it.
That's fine.
For some reason. And I felt like it kind of fit, at least for a lot of the early soundtracks, it fit the vibe of the fancy.
It definitely fit. That's what I'll say. It fit the vibe of what the movie was going for, and I can appreciate it on that level. However, it just really reminded me of like those playlists on YouTube that say songs that make you feel like the villain.
Songs that make you feel like the villain or study like you're the villain.
That's just what it reminded me of, and I was like, okay, it fits this.
Yeah.
But like,
outside of that, I only listen to it if I'm studying.
Yeah, if you didn't say anything about that, I would never have brought it up.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like.
Yeah, it's nothing special.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's there, and it really, again, serves its purpose. Everything in this movie is practical.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up here now. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share. If you're listening to this on Spotify, please subscribe and give us a good word of mouth. Please follow us on our social medias at $1 Million Media. And yeah, hope you all have a good day.